Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Game Plan. He's Quinten, I'm Judy, and it's week 7. We're diving into our favorite player props. Who's going to crush it? Who's going to come up short this week? Drop your bets in the comment and let's cash some tickets together. Follow us on Action Network for more of our bets as well. The link is in the description. So, Quinten, how did we do last week?
Last week was pretty 50-50. We're still way positive on the year, but Ridley's injury crushed us. He only ran 4 routes last game, and he had 18 yards, and we had him in the parlay. We would have hit the parlay if not for that. So hopefully, if you took that bet, your sports book paid you out. A lot of those have the promos if they get hurt early. Luckily enough, the book I was playing on for DraftKings did provide some cash credits there. Overall, pretty 50-50. It could have been a better week if Ridley had stayed in, but we hit a couple of our touchdowns there. We came through with CMC and Tucker Kraft. I was a little salty when I saw that fullback get in for Dallas, and I was like, that was our Shoemaker touchdown.
I saw that. Yeah, I was thinking of that too. It's like, oh, that was our touchdown.
But excited to get into week 7 here.
Yeah, I have some things I like week 7. We've had some trouble coming up with some of these prop bets as of Thursday afternoon because they're just really waiting on some of these injuries, I feel like, and not putting the lines out there. But we still have some that we like. So let's jump into it. Who's the first one that you like?
So this is a running back that we've talked about a few times here on this prop, and I kind of like that of like following the players, and if you have a good read on them, keep going back to that well. So we have Ashton Jeanty under 61 and a half rushing yards. We've taken his over before. I think we took an under a couple weeks ago, but we are back on the under against the Chiefs. They're just 12 and a half point road dogs against Kansas City this week, and that just not does not set up well for Ginty's game script to be running a lot. The last 3 games for the Chiefs, they've allowed Jahmyr Gibbs to run for 65, Etienne to run for 49, and Derrick Henry at 42. And Raiders are still dead last in yards before contact and their rush stuff rate, so percent of runs that are either getting 0 or negative yards.
I feel like some of these players are a little bit more easier to read on how they're going to be used, and Jeanty is one of them. They're very moderate about his usage. It's not going to be 30 carries like we saw with Rico Dowdle last week. So I do like this one with Ashton Jeanty, and the Chiefs defense is for real.
Yeah, I've been looking for the Chiefs on the other side. They really didn't have a lot of their lines up because Rashee Rice and what they actually set his lines out will be very interesting. That's something I'm going to watch for Sunday morning. But for the next bet, I actually wanted to go to another rookie running back
Which
and
one?
take Quinshon Judkins and take his longest rush over 16 and a half yards, and that's a minus 115 bet.
I like that one. I think there are a few games that we have targeted in on this week, and that Cleveland Browns game is definitely one of them. It looks to be some pretty bad weather there. So they will be, if you don't like the longest rush, then maybe look for the rushing attempts on Quinshon Judkins as well. I'm sure that one's equally as good.
Yeah, they are favored at home here against the Dolphins. And something I just want to point out, we brought this up on the DFS episode, but Dolphins are allowing a 7.1 explosive play rate. So that's why I'm leaning into this longest rush angle. And the last 3 games, the Dolphins have allowed rushes for 38, 53, and 43 yards. And Quinshon Judkins, he looks like a special talent just kind of watching the game. So I think this is kind of his breakthrough game, and he'll actually have those big plays here.
I think so too. There's probably some good team totals there to maybe parlay it with, and we're going to get to some other ones on this game as well. One that I like is in the Denver Broncos are hosting the New York Giants. So Bo Nix over 18 and a half rushing yards. It's a minus 125. Nix has hit this 4 of 6 weeks. His misses, oddly enough, were the 2 home games against Tennessee and Cincinnati, but I still like him to have to rush a little bit more against the Giants defense. Quarterbacks against the Giant defense have hit their yardage 4 of 6 times as well this season. And Spencer Rattler ran 21 for 21 yards in week 5 against them. They did hold Hurts to 13 yards last week, but I think the Giants are just pretty motivated at home to do that. I think the Broncos come back from being over in London where they looked really, really bad. They still won that game against the Jets, but they looked bad, and I think that they're going to have to move Nix around to get better also.
I
How do you
like
feel
that.
about it?
Yeah, I like that. The Giants have a really strong pass rush, but Nix is mobile enough to turn those sacks into a couple scrambles. And you don't really get penalized on those rushing yards for negative plays unless it's, or like the sacks, unless
Yeah.
they're like starting to scramble already and it's a designed run. So I like the angle there. Uh,
18 and a half just seems kind of low for it.
It does. And I want to bring up the quarterback on the other side of that game and flip it. So you have Bo Nix is over. I'm taking Jaxson Dart's under 41 and a half rushing yards. So far, he has been rushing like a monster. Like he has been in 50 yards every single game that he's played so far. In the past 3 weeks, it's all been very predictable. It's been like 58, 55, 54 yards. But this Denver's defense this Denver Broncos defense is just completely different against mobile quarterbacks. They have so much speed on their edges and their linebackers to keep contain, and they are not allowing any quarterback to rush against them. So I think we are getting a very high line here because of his history. We only have a 3 game sample on Dart. So that's kind of all we have to go off of. And so it's up at 41 and a half, but here is kind of Denver's defense and who they've allowed. Justin Fields only had 31 yards. Jalen Hurts had 3. Daniel Jones had 2 yards. They are just keeping contained, keeping these quarterbacks in the pocket and forcing them to pass. I like the Jaxson Dart under here.
I like this too. This is one that I'm watching. You could even like do a little same game parlay with both of these and bump those odds up a little bit. I think Sean Payton's going to be all over this Broncos team to improve over their performance last week.
Yeah, there is some kind of correlation between the plays too, because if they're getting those positive scrambles for the Broncos, they're keeping the ball away from the Giants, and if they're getting those stops, it's more opportunities. So I kind of like that correlation play.
I do too. I have another one, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to find it on any of the main sports books. You can find it on things like Novig and some other alternative books, but one to watch out for is Cam Ward under 213 and a half passing yards. I'm showing it around a minus 125. We'll see if they hold on to it. I'm not really sure what they're waiting for. It doesn't look like Ridley's going to play. It looks like he is definitely out. They don't have a lot of talent on the team. Their coach was fired, so I'm not sure if that's what is causing the hesitation and setting the lines. We've got the offensive assistant Mike McCoy coming in as the head coach. But what's really driving my love of this one is it's the revenge game for Mike Vrabel coming back to the Titans that fired him after the 2023 season. So this is the first time he's come back. He sat out the 2024 season, and then he was just hired this year by the Patriots, and he's got the Patriots pretty much rolling. I think he goes into Tennessee angry. He kind of even said that in a press conference that, you when you're fired by somebody, you go in with a little bit more edge on you. And I think he wants to crush them. I think that he's going to pull out everything to stop the Titans from doing anything. I don't know that they could do anything anyway, but
Yeah,
now we have a vengeful coach coming in, and
you got the
he
narrative.
does
I
it.
think you also just have the roster difference, and the Patriots are getting healthier on their defensive end or their secondary unit. With Christian Gonzalez coming back the last 3 weeks, he's fully up to speed, playing 100% of snaps. So that is a talented secondary. They haven't allowed over 20 points in 3 weeks. So especially against this roster difference, I like the
Yeah.
under here.
I do too. All right, what do we have for touchdown bets this week?
So touchdowns, first one, we are going back trying to find that undervalued running back, and I like Quinshon Judkins going back to him. If he's getting that big burst play, it's probably ending in the end zone, and I want a piece of that. He is at minus 125, which is just too cheap for a workhorse running back. I even kind of want to play his 2 touchdown line at 450. Are you interested at a 2 touchdown bet,
I
or is
could
that
be
just
interested in
DFS at
that.
that point?
Yeah, that might be DFS. Maybe I'll keep my money over there. So I've got enough going on already this week that maybe I'll just go with the one touchdown bet on Judkins.
And my worry too was like, so it is supposed to be crazy weather in this game too. Wind gusts up to 50 to 60 miles per hour. So I was thinking that they know that they're going to be running, and maybe like a packed box will kind of slow Judkins down. Maybe that's the argument against it. But Judkins is already seeing the third highest defenders in the box in the entire league, right behind Charbonnet and Derrick Henry. So he's already been effective against that coverage, and Miami has been brutal on the ground the past couple weeks. So I like him to get in the end zone here.
Yeah, Miami's just been bad. So I don't know that they can do anything to stop them. All right, what's next? Who's next?
The next one is in his first game back. I'm taking Rashee Rice at plus 130. I think they have a great matchup against the Raiders, and I think Rashee Rice, especially, is kind of built to score against these Raiders. Andy Reid loves drawing up plays in the red zone for these players coming back or making their debuts. Rice and Worthy both got touchdowns in their rookie debuts, and it's kind of one of those where the team is kind of rallying behind Rice. I don't think maybe they should be doing that given his crime that he actually committed. But the team is excited to have him back and excited to see what that offense looks like with that piece finally in. And the team has kind of been clicking the past couple weeks. Mahomes leads the league in passing attempts in the red zone, and the Chiefs really aren't going to have a running game against the Raiders.
Yeah, right now they are the team with all their wide receivers and they're rolling with them. I want to see how Rice looks. We didn't see much of him last year, so I'm a little bit hesitant here to go with this one, but it's definitely got a chance. I don't like the Raiders defense in Kansas City, but I'm not really sure that the Chiefs have to do a lot to score that many points as well.
Yeah, you were buying it sight unseen, but I think the Chiefs want to put up some points. They want to put up the numbers that they really haven't had the past couple of years.
So I like your last one though. Who's the last one here?
The last one here is Mason Taylor, rookie tight end for the New York Jets. And while a touchdown from the New York Jets doesn't sound that tempting, he really is the last option standing for New York. If you look at their wide receiving core, it is Arian Smith, Alan Lazard, and Tyler Johnson suiting up for against Carolina this week.
And I'm not even sure Alan Lazard's going to be there or not. He's been dealing with some off-field personal issues and missing time as well. But they've got to be hoping he is, or they're probably still calling people up from the practice squad.
Yeah. And on top of that, so they've already kind of been peppering them with targets because there really isn't another option outside of Garrett Wilson, who's going to miss this week. On top of that, you have a really great matchup against the Carolina Panthers, a team that's already given up 4 touchdowns on the year to the tight end position. So I'm excited for this play at plus 245. I think you're getting a good value here.
Yeah, we should mention it's the Carolina Panthers on the road, which is different than the Carolina Panthers at home. It's like two different teams.
Yeah. And similar to our tight end 2 with the Cowboys, I might even sprinkle a half unit on Jeremy Ruckert at plus 650. He is the tight end 2, and he's actually running a lot of routes and taking a lot of snaps for the Jets. He already has a touchdown on the year. They look for him in the red zone. So especially given how depleted this wide receiving core is, I really just didn't want to have that red zone play where I see the New York Jets tight end catch touchdown, and then I'm like, Ruckert, who is that? And so I think I might put a half unit on Ruckert as well to just kind of feel guaranteed the tight end against Carolina.
All right, fair enough. Parlays this week. Do we have
Yeah,
one?
we don't. I mean, I was looking at the lines and I really didn't want to force it. There's a bunch of things that I'm waiting for to see with the injury news. I mean, with the Puka news, they're holding off on Rams wide receivers. So feel free to follow us on Action Network. We'll link that here. If we do end up playing a Sunday parlay, we'll post that there and you can see that live as soon as we play it. But there are some
I
things I'm interested in.
Yeah. Who
Um,
are you interested in?
like Jordan Whittington's reception line. No Puka Nakua. The Rams are on bye week next week. So I don't think they're going to try to force Devontae Adams into a Puka role. They're just going to have someone that's already been on the Rams kind of fill that. And we already saw Whittington increase his snaps with Puka's injury.
Yeah, I just hate betting on London games, but okay.
Very true.
We can see what shakes out there.
Also, one game that like nothing is posted for is that New Orleans Chicago game, and there's a lot of interesting plays. So we kind of talked yesterday about Rashee Shaheed and Chris Olave's potential. We like that New Orleans passing attack
Yeah.
and maybe taking Spencer Rattler's longest completion against the Bears. But I'm also interested in Odunze. What's his touchdown price coming into this week? He's been a constant red zone threat. Do you have any other
Yeah.
lines that you're kind of looking for?
I like that. I actually going on a same game parlay, so moving away from the prop bets. I have one that I'm on. I found this one when I was looking at that Titans game against the Patriots because it is kind of the game that I really like to target this week, and they don't have a lot of those player props out on that game. So I took the Patriots minus the 7 points. And then the Patriots team total right now is 24.5. And I actually teased that up to 26.5. I'm confident they can score 27 points. And then the Patriots to have over 2.5 touchdowns, because if both of those happen, they're going to have over 2.5 touchdowns. So doing a parlay with all three of those ends up a 174. It's not really high, but most of the sites, the sports books out there have some kind of profit boost. So you can get that profit boost and boost this up a little bit. And it's just one that I really like.
Yeah, they are all strongly correlated together. So then you're adding the boost in there to kind of just take advantage of the promo.
Exactly.
There is kind of one other long shot bet I wanted to bring up this week. It's another angle of a game we've talked about for a while this episode of that Cleveland Miami game. And it just looks like it's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be thunderstorms, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds in Cleveland and the Browns in Miami. Like this is a draft pick battle right now. So I like the Miami Dolphins. This is one of the specials on DK right now of the lowest scoring team on Sunday. They're plus 800 to be the lowest scoring team. And we don't think about the Dolphins in low scoring, but something is off in Miami.
Something's off, but they're not even playing in Miami. They're playing in Cleveland, which
Yeah.
anytime I hear about Miami going to Cleveland, it just sounds like it's a bad idea.
And not to mention, I mean, Tua and McDaniel are going at each other in press conferences. There's just a lot of infighting. This feels like a team that could implode any week. And against a really good, talented defensive team, I kind of like that in this spot here. You can also play it to be the lowest scoring game if you want that angle at plus 400.
I like both of those. The Dolphins and the Titans are going to be battling each other out for the lowest score, I think, this week.
I kind of think the Giants might be in there with them, but plus 800 was just too good of a value.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what the other two teams are, but I definitely think it's one of those weeks where you should be looking at who's going to have the lowest points this week because you can find some value there to play.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it for our week 7 props. Tell us your favorite plays in the comments and play smart, have fun, and we'll see you next time.